Welcome to Bible/Chat. Gus,
Long time no see, John.
so good to have you back.
I know, it's incredible.
You were camping?
Actually, I was here and working in the office.
You were here working in the office?
You wouldn't have me in these little powwows.
We locked you in your cage.
I was. So that's done. You're not coming out, young man.
It's funny because it's true. How was the mountains? Was it nice?
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, you see
So
beautiful stuff in the mountains, huh?
Beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's glorious. So this
It's
brings us
almost like
No, I segue. You answer.
yeah, it's
No,
almost like
You can do it. You want to
No,
ask?
go ahead.
You can say it.
no. I mean, I
Okay, so the elders of Israel, we have this story in chapter 24 of Exodus
yeah,
where the elders of Israel go up on the mountain and they see God.
yeah.
And then Moses
24:10, right?
24:10, yeah.
And they saw the God of Israel, and under his feet there appeared to be a pavement of sapphire as clear as the sky itself.
Yeah, good. Okay, so you have this like statement. They're seeing him, and he has feet,
Yeah.
and under his feet. No, they don't describe anything else about him. It could be that they just collapsed on the
Yeah.
ground in front
Yeah.
of him because of terror. Or it
Most
could-
likely.
Most likely.
Most likely.
So they see his feet and are just
Yeah.
like looking down.
Yeah.
But then in chapter 33 of Exodus, and this is where the question is that came into us, verse 11, it says, "Thus the Lord used to speak to Moses face to face, just as a man speaks to his friend." This
Yeah.
comes up in 2 Corinthians chapter 3.
Yeah.
He sees him face to face. It says, "When Moses returned to the camp, his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, would not depart from the tent."
Yeah.
So Joshua sticks around. Then if you keep reading in chapter 33, we have this very interesting statement. Moses says, "I pray you show me your glory." In verse 18. In verse 19, he says, "I will make all my goodness pass before you and will proclaim the name of the Lord before you, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious. I will show compassion on whom I will show compassion." But he said, you cannot see my face, for no man can see me and live."
Yeah.
So we have God talking with Moses face to face as with a friend, literally that language. Then verse 20, "You cannot see my face and
Yeah.
live." So what's going on here? And then in reference to Exodus 24, where the elders of Israel apparently see him with anthropomorphic features, he has feet. What's going on in these two texts?
Yeah. I mean, this is a very good question.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think this is one of those questions that as you're going through Exodus, and we're going to do that for our care groups, if you're paying even a little bit of attention, you're going to be seeing, you're going to be reading this. And also it's the same writer, right?
Yeah.
Who's writing these
Yeah.
things. Moses, he's writing this account of the elders, then he's going to 33 and what happened at, right before 33,
Yeah.
which is, the golden calf and that debacle there. And then all of a sudden, God is going to show himself to Moses, and he tells him, "You can't see my face."
Yeah.
I think what he's talking about here is a Christophany.
Yeah.
This is a manifestation of a pre-incarnate Christ. When you see his feet, or when you're seeing here his face, right? Face to face, he would talk to him.
Yeah.
You can see that in Abraham as well, right? The angel of the Lord, or the captain of the Lord's army,
Yeah.
that Joshua sees
Joshua
in
sees,
Joshua
yeah.
5. It's the same.
Gideon, Isaiah,
Gideon, exactly.
all these testimonies
Yeah.
of men seeing
Yeah, our
a
Christophany.
God. They're Christophanies.
Yeah, Christophany.
So Christophany.
Christ. So they're seeing a manifestation of a pre-incarnate Christ.
Okay. So this is Jesus here.
This is Jesus,
But not in his
before he's called Jesus.
Yeah, before he's called Jesus, not in his earthly body,
Yeah.
but in a manifestation, a pre-incarnate physical manifestation of God in the second person of the Trinity, who we now call Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's also called the angel of the Lord sometimes.
Yeah.
He is a captain of the Lord's army. He is. He has different names.
Yeah.
And in this case, we're seeing this.
So the
chapter
elders-
24. Yeah.
Good.
Chapter 24, they're seeing a pre-incarnate Christ.
Yeah.
And also in chapter 33, they're seeing, in the beginning of chapter 33, they're seeing, or is it 32? I'm sorry, I think I forgot that. No, it's 33. He's speaking to a pre-incarnate Christ.
Okay.
The second
Face to
person
face.
of the Trinity, face to face. Now, 34, 30, at the end of 33, when he says, "No man can see my face and live,"
Yeah.
and the only thing he gets to see in the cleft of the rock is his back,
Yeah.
and the goodness passes. Now I think we're talking about God the Father, and there's a difference, right? Because he says, verse 20, 33:20, You cannot see my face, for no man can see me and live.
Yeah.
Now, either God is playing a game
Yeah.
with Moses, or this is a different person
Yeah.
of the Trinity.
Yeah.
And we have to be careful, right? How we say when we talk about the Trinity, because
Yeah.
we always talk about, and we joke around that even a wrong preposition can
Yeah.
deem us to be heretics.
For sure. Yeah.
So, but this is Christ in chapter 24 and early 33, and then later 33, you see God the Father actually, and God the Father is who passes
Mm,
in front of Moses here.
okay.
Um,
Which is helpful actually, because Jesus, John says in John 1:18, no one has seen God at any
Yeah.
time. The only begotten of the Father, he has explained to
Yeah.
me. He's brought him,
Yeah.
he's manifested
Yeah.
him. So in a sense, that difference, when you see that difference, it's actually in one sense very helpful for us because it's Trinitarian
Yeah.
experiences, but prior to a fully codified testimony of the Trinity, you just see those different persons of the Godhead.
Yeah. And even when John says, and I'm glad you brought that passage up, it's really super interesting. He's not only talking, because a lot of people are like, well, he's talking about the New Testament,
Right. Yeah.
just Jesus in body who become, but I think he's also speaking of the second person of the Trinity.
Right.
The second person of the Trinity is who has exegesis.
Yeah.
He was the one who did exegesis of the Father.
Of the Father.
Yeah, he explained it.
Yeah.
This is what he did in the Old Testament and in the New Testament.
Yeah.
And even when Abraham is called a friend of God, he talks to God. He's talking to the second person of the Trinity.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which makes sense too, even in John's writings, because John 12, he says this Isaiah spoke of Christ when he saw him. He
Yeah.
saw his glory. So you have him saying, no one can see the Father, or no one can see God.
yeah.
Isaiah saw God. So even in John's own mind,
John
he sees that
John says
distinction.
the same thing about Abraham. Remember, Abraham saw my day and rejoiced. How did that happen? Well, he
Yeah.
did. We talked.
Yeah, he did. We talked.
We had a conversation about it. We
actually
knew he
shared
was
a
happy
meal.
about this.
Yeah.
We knew he was happy about this.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's super helpful. So there we're seeing actually Trinitarian distinctions.
Yeah.
And being put on display really in how Moses interacts with different members of the Trinity. One coming to him, the elders of Israel seeing his feet, Moses obviously talking face to face with him, and then you have the Father. Now, this is maybe a Trinitarian tricky question here, but does that mean that God the Father is more holy than God the Son?
No,
Second member?
we do know that they have different functions.
Okay.
Right? They have different roles.
Yeah.
So one of them is to reveal the Father.
Mm.
The other one is to be the Father.
Yeah.
One of them is to be the sustainer of the universe. The other one is to be actually the head overall.
Yeah.
Just like the Spirit, he's not a lesser God
Right.
because he points to the Son and the Son points to the Father.
Mm.
It's like when we talk about this idea of people say, "Why don't I like being Christ-centered?"
Yeah.
Because all glory goes to the Father.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think Christ does?
And that's precisely what Jesus is doing.
Yeah. We give the glory to Jesus, and then he, in turn, he doesn't say, "Well, that's pretty good. I felt pretty good." He's just giving it all
Glorifying his
to
Father.
the Father.
Who's in turn glorifying
Yeah.
God. So what there we're not talking about like ontological distinctions. Same God,
Yeah.
same glory,
Yeah.
just different roles.
Yeah.
One is revelatory, so then you have him
Yeah.
interacting with the elders of Israel. One is primarily like glorifying,
Yeah.
or like self-glorification, which is then the Father, and he's not interacting with anyone but Moses, and
Yeah.
even then it's in a place of like shelter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just
Super helpful.
imagine what would have been like for Moses to see that.
Oh yeah. It's wild.
And even I'm always reminded of when God speaks to Job in the whirlwind,
Oh yeah.
and he's saying all of these things, and you're thinking, just that conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know who can stand that and not die
Well, he
and
says,
not be obliterated,
yeah,
right?
he says, I heard about you. Now I
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah.
And I repent.
Yeah.
Like he knows he's sinned.
Yeah.
Yeah, super helpful. Well, good. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, guys. I
Thank you,
appreciate
John.
it. Thanks for clarifying that for us.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
We missed you. If you have questions on this or any other topic, you can always email us at info@faithbibleoc.org. Thanks so much.